Project Rosalind is our collaboration with the Bank of England and the Bank of International Settlement to understand and test with the industry what a retail central bank digital currency looks like.
On the infrastructure side, we hosted the blockchain, we built the smart contracts, we exposed the smart contracts to a kind of a back-end API, so this is the technical work. And we were also involved in kind of building the requirements. Right? So
what we learned was there's a way we can make money, a digital pound, for example, smart.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. And with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about QUANT Network in this one, okay, you guys? Listen, I would have brought you yesterday a video about QUANT and ISO TC 307, the literally global standard for building on blockchain and distributed ledger technologies, okay, you guys? Today, we're going to tackle the Bank of International Settlements. You're going to see how they mirror in multiple different ways and understand that common denominator that is there providing critical financial infrastructure is QUANT Network with their interoperable APIs, okay, you guys? But before we get too deep into this thing, thank you for liking, thank you for commenting, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate y'all. I truly, truly do. I really do, okay? So on yesterday, we talked about QUANT Network in those 63 countries that are tied to ISO TC 307, the global standard for building on blockchain, okay? Now, all of those countries, you guys, focus on this, has a central bank, okay? Now, today we're going to tackle it from the lens of the central bank's side and how QUANT Network is associated, okay, you guys? So in this very first video, I'm going to hop into the map from yesterday, and I will be right back. Now, as you can see, ISO TC 307 and all of the participating countries, that map that I showed you in the video on yesterday, we did our deep dive into ISO TC 307. Now, you see this map right here, you guys. Now, what I want you to do is compare it to this map. This map is from the Bank of International Settlements. This is all of the jurisdiction that falls up under the Bank of International Settlements, you guys. Now, look at this map. This is now the oldest international monetary institution in the world that has now publicly named QUANT Network. Look at all the countries. Now see QUANT Network's global standard for building on blockchain. They almost mirror each other identically with a few variances here or there, but for the most part, the meat and the potatoes is there. Look and see that the infrastructure that QUANT Network is building out in multiple different ways. You have them by the central bank of the country via the Bank of International Settlements, but then you also have them by the actual country and the infrastructure of that country via the standard ISO TC 307. What QUANT Network has built out is second to none in Web3, you guys, second to none. Now, you guys just saw that map. They were almost identical to each other. Understand that QUANT Network and via ISO TC 307 have you under the country and as far as the governance and the regulatory regime of it all, and tied directly into overledger, but also now on the Bank of International Settlement side, they have you by the central bank, the country's actual money, you guys. What QUANT Network is pulling off in their interoperable blockchain platform overledger is going to do for the world is incredible. It truly is, okay, you guys? But we're going to hop just slightly into the Bank of International Settlements, who they are and what they govern over, you guys. And I will be right back. Now let's hop into this. The Bank of International Settlements is the central bank of central banks, you guys. Listen to this description. It is an international financial institution which is owned by its member central banks. Its primary goal is to foster international monetary and financial cooperation while serving as the bank for the central banks. It was established in 1930, which makes it the oldest international financial institution in the world, you guys. Understand that QUANT Network has coupled itself with the oldest financial institution in the world. Okay, follow me on this. Now, we won't go through the whole history and all the governors and all of these wonderful things, but what I will scroll down to so you guys can see with your own two eyes are all of the member central banks. This is quite an incredible thing. So look at this list and truly see all of the financial institutions that are tied back to the Bank of International Settlements. And you better believe America is right here. We have both the Federal Reserve and the New York Fed. They're both here, okay, you guys? So truly see, this is an extensive list of central banks tied back to the oldest financial institution in the world that is now publicly named QUANT Network on multiple occasions for providing infrastructure for multiple of their projects. Understand and truly see, and one of those major projects stems from the Global Financial Center. Understand and truly see what's happening with the QUANT Network, overledger, their interoperable APIs, and literally, you guys, the tokenization of commercial bank money as we speak. I'll be right back. Now, you guys just saw that. Literally the central bank of the central banks. And understand now the center of that, which is literally, you guys, London, the Bank of England's birthplace. Okay, you guys, truly see that what QUANT Network is doing right now with the Bank of England and those, I believe it's 6 commercial banks tokenizing commercial bank money, it's incredible. Because remember, on that day when that press release was released, 3 people did it. It was UK Finance released about QUANT Network and those 6 banks. It was QUANT Network themselves, and also the Bank of England also announced it all simultaneously that same day. Okay, you guys? So know that the Bank of England is right there, which ties it directly back to who? The Bank of International Settlements, because London is the testing ground or the official, I wouldn't even say testing ground, because the testing actually has already happened with things like Project Rosalind, okay? But what London is going to be that official global stage of these tokenized deposits work seamlessly, and now you can start to roll them out via your ISO 20022 standard that just went live. But again, we got about 6 months of these tokenized deposit trials. Follow me on this. QUANT Network is the opportunity of a lifetime, okay? We're going to hop into this very next video, and I will be right back.
GBTD is tokenized sterling deposits, and it's the UK's answer to tokenizing commercial bank money as an industry. Leading high street banks from the UK, such as Lloyds, Santander, HSBC, Barclays, NatWest, and Nationwide, coming together to create the central infrastructure and the bank-side infrastructure for tokenized deposits. The key of this project is to create a token standard for all banks to use for tokenized deposits, to create orchestration and interoperability between all their systems within the banks as well as within the infrastructure, and programmability to be able to issue tokenized deposits, orchestrate complex workflows using a programming language and a programming engine called PayScript.
Now, you guys just heard directly from QUANT Network CEO mouth himself in regards to the tokenized deposits and everything that is going on within those banks inside of the UK. Now, understand this too. When he was speaking in regards to all of those processes, he never not once said all the banks in the UK. He explicitly said several times all the banks.
The key of this project is to create a token standard for all banks to use for tokenized deposits.
He truly meant all the banks. that is tied back to what? The Bank of International Settlements, going back to that map that I just showed you earlier, because London is that testing ground. They are the global financial center. I said that before. America might be the superpower, but the father of it all is London, the Bank of England. They are where all money flows stems from, like the structure of it all. Truly understand and see how it is truly set up globally. Okay, you guys? And you have QUANT Network right there being publicly named by the Bank of England, literally tied back to the Bank of International Settlements on multiple different times. Things like a Project Agorá. If you're not familiar with what Project Agorá is and what they are doing or what they did doing it, I'm going to clip to this really fast and I will be right back.
I think it's worth saying that there is tremendous impetus that's coming from our private sector partners on this project. You know, we have 43 private sector institutions that are part of Project Agorá, as well as the 7 central banks. And what's really distinctive about this project is that it's not simply a tokenization platform that is siloed within one institution. It is very much a interoperable infrastructure. So it has central bank money, which is in the same venue as the tokenized deposits. And so you can imagine settlement across the tokenized deposits of different institutions, not to mention actually the tokenized deposits across different currencies even. And so it's a very, very important leap that we're envisaging here. And the role of the central bank is absolutely key because settlement in central bank money is what actually ultimately enables bringing all the pieces together. So the technology by itself is not the new thing because many commercial banks already have their siloed tokenization platforms. But the key is to really bring all of those together to have a platform that is interoperable and across all the major currencies in the world. So that's the big leap. And so I don't think we should underestimate how important it is. And you can imagine that for the private sector, this really is a game changer. So it's really the private sector partners that have really been pushing us very hard on this.
The world is waking up to the power of tokenization. From currencies to carbon credits, real estate to shareholdings, any asset can now be represented digitally by a token. Central and commercial banks, asset managers and companies of all sizes are embracing the benefits of these digital assets and improving liquidity, cost efficiency and transparency as a result. But until now, creating secure tokens and managing them required a high level of investment and specialist knowledge unique to each blockchain, and any mistake could expose your assets to risk. Now, with overledger platform from Quant, you can create and deploy enterprise-grade secure smart tokens for any use case on any chain. All of this with zero coding, and your tokens will always be blockchain agnostic and behave as you determine. And there's no compromise on security or functionality. Overledger embeds trust and adaptability into the tokenization process of our function-rich smart contracts, so you can leverage the power of tokenization with confidence and create the future. Overledger Platform, the enterprise standard for building on blockchain.
So now, understand this about Project Agorá, okay? It is those central banks, the 7 that they talked about, but also those 42 commercial banks, you guys. It's things like BNY Mellon and Chase and Bank of America and so forth and so on. But globally, commercial banks, that is what QUANT Network is doing right now in the UK, tokenizing bank deposits on a global stage. After what? The private permissioned POCs like what's going on right now with Project Agorá. Again, what I said, what happens after the private permission POCs? Literally, you're going to have your public deployment, your soft open, your soft rollout. And then what happens after that trial period? Full-on deployment of whatever technology that you are putting through whatever system you're building on. Like that's how business works. That is how just any type of rollout happens when it comes to rollouts, you guys. And understand that we are just 6 or 7, 8 months away, depending on where we are right now or when it officially ends in the middle of 2026, because we're literally, I want to say Thanksgiving is Thursday, which is crazy to say, which I think it may be today. Even if you're watching this and it is Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. But with that being said, Quant Network is the opportunity of a lifetime, you guys. People don't understand and truly see the infrastructure that Quant Network has built out globally, tying themselves to things like global standards, internet protocols, and the oldest financial institution in the world. Truly understand and see the infrastructure, truly understand and see the ecosystem that Quant Network has built out globally, and the tokenization of assets, securities, commercial bank money, central bank money, gold reserves, everything you could possibly think of. And y'all, the Bank of England's gold reserve, oh my God, it's insane.
Your first glimpse of the Bank of England's gold.
This is like Raiders of the Lost Ark. How much gold is here?
This is one of 9 gold vaults that we have here at the bank. There's about 400,000 gold bars stored here, and collectively they're worth about £250 billion, something like that.
What?
I know, it's a lot, isn't it?
So I've got to ask the question, why do we have this here? How did it turn into, okay, the bank needs to hold this much gold? What was the process like? Take me back.
So obviously gold's been used for quite a number of years as a form of money. First of all, gold coins themselves. But the problem with gold coins is they're actually quite heavy to carry around.
Can't flip it, no.
Exactly. So what people started to do was they would take their gold coins to a goldsmith, and the goldsmith would issue them with an IOU.
Okay.
And over time, people realised that actually using those IOUs to pay for goods and services was actually easier than actually going and getting the gold and lugging it around.
Okay.
And those IOUs eventually developed into what we now know as banknotes.
That's fascinating, isn't it?
That's a mind-blowing amount of gold, okay, you guys? But listen, Quant Network is right there in the midst of it all, providing critical financial global infrastructure. And I don't know if I can even make it any more clearer with, especially these last 2 videos, of what really Quant Network is building. And to know that you're holding QNT, the token that powers the network, every transaction that flows through it, every smart contract that's built on top of it, every connection into all of these developer hubs, every connection to everything that's ISO 222 compliant, that's now utilizing Web3 processes, tying into the global standard for building on blockchain, overledger, you guys. Truly understand and see and know what you hold when you hold QNT. No, don't let a red day fudge you out. Don't let some talking head on Twitter or YouTube fudge you out saying that it's old this and old that, because the one thing that's for certain and 2 things for sure, no government moves overnight. So for them saying it's old tech, no, it's not old tech. It is literally legitimized, certified, bona fide technology that is now being adopted by the largest entities in the world. All right, you guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in. I appreciate you for tapping in. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in the BIS, because what Quant Network has going on with the Bank of International Settlements, building out an ecosystem of ecosystems. Think about it like this before I let you go. What Quant Network is doing is allowing the central bank of central banks to truly be interoperable with itself. Because right now, although they are the central bank of central banks, each of those countries' central banks and the currencies that flow through it don't seamlessly talk to each other. That's why things like Forex markets and things like that exist. And understand what Quant Network is doing officially for the central bank of central banks is allowing them to bring all of their currencies under one umbrella interoperably. What Quant Network is building out is incredible, you guys. Truly understand and see what you hold when you hold QNT. You hold a piece of the future of finance. Till the next time, for real this time, y'all already know. Peace out.